What's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure Series Slash. And I've been really looking forward to this figure, and it's not because I have any type of connection to the Archie Ninja Turtle comics, it's just because I think it looks amazing. As soon as NECA revealed this figure, I was like, damn, that might just be the best actual turtle figure that NECA has done. He just looked incredible to me. So it's been one of my most highly anticipated NECA figures just off the fact that he looks so good. So I'm really hyped up about it, but let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the packaging. You are able to see Slash through the window along with some of his accessories, and then we can see that there's some artwork behind him. Up front, we do get some cool looking artwork of Slash himself. Over here it says Ninja Turtles Adventure Slash, and then up here it does say NECA Adventure Series Issue 1. I like that this is set up like a comic book. I think that's very cool. On the side of the box we get some really cool looking Slash artwork. And then on the back, we get a look at the figure doing his thing. And then down here, we have a look at some other characters that NECA is going to be putting out soon. And then over here, we have some more cool looking artwork. And that's about it for the packaging. It does look really cool. It's small and compact. And I really like the comic book inspiration that we have here. But yeah, this is dope. But let's go ahead and get Slash out of this pretty box and take a look. All right, so hell yeah. Here we have Slash right out of the box. And I'm very happy to say that I'm extremely satisfied with this figure because I had high expectations for Slash, and thankfully he met all of those expectations. And yeah, man, NECA stays killing it with the turtle figures. And at this point, it kind of feels dumb to even say that because, you know, they've been doing it for years now, and they just continue to put out amazing figure after amazing figure. And I feel like they get better every time, you know? Like every time I get a NECA turtle figure, I'm always impressed. And I'm always saying how like, oh, it's so much better than the previous NECA turtle or whatever. They're just continuously improving and putting out great figures. So this guy came out amazing. And like I said, I'm not attached to the Archie version of the Turtles. I don't really know too much about this Slash. I heard he's more of an anti-hero as opposed to like a straight up villain. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really know too much about him. You know, I remember Slash from the cartoon. But having no connection to this, I just love the design. He just looks so big and badass. He doesn't look like the goofy ass character that he is in the show. He looks like a more menacing kind of character, you know? He looks like he's ready to whoop someone's ass. So I just really, really love that. The paintwork on him is pretty nice too. It's pretty clean for the most part, but I did have a little bit of paint from the knee pad that ended up on the lower leg, so I had to clean that up a little bit. But aside from that, the paint is really clean and extremely well done, and the articulation is really good on him too. I would say that he has more articulation than some of the actual turtles, so that's always good to see. But yeah, this is such a great figure. NECA, man, straight up killing it. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at all the awesome details on him. Starting off at the head, I really do love this facial expression. He does look super mean. Looks like he's ready to whoop some ass. I like that we could see the teeth over here. And then moving around to this side, you could see the teeth and some gums. That looks really awesome. And then I like how one eye is so much bigger than the other. Looks like he's kind of raising his eyebrow a little bit. And over here, he looks a little more normal. It's funny, looking at him from this side, he just kind of looks like one of the Ninja Turtles, but, you know, just with an angry facial expression. Then over here, he looks like something completely different. He looks like a crazed version of the Turtles. And putting both of them together, I think it looks really good. So yeah, awesome looking head sculpt. We do have some nice paint work as well. We have some lines to give it that comic book feel this time around, so that's nice. We got some spots on the top of the head. And then we do have this piece back here which moves around. So yeah, really nice sculpting on the head. And then let's go ahead and move around to the body here, starting with the chest. I really like the way this looks. I like the little accent marks, I guess you could call them, right there, and throughout the figure. And we have the black line work all over the chest here that looks nice. And again, that also goes throughout the figure. Check out all the line work there to make it kind of feel like a drawing, so that's really dope. On the shoulder, he does have like this shoulder pad thing going on, and it looks like a couple of pieces of wood just kind of stapled together. So that's cool. Checking out the turtle shell. He's got like these spikes on the shell that look good. I love this deep dark green too. The color of the shell is really nice. Look at all those spikes. Yeah, so I like the green of the shell and how it kind of contrasts against the green of his skin. Looks really good. And we do have these elbow pads, and the elbow pads kind of leave some paint marks on the actual figure, so that does kind of suck. Same thing down at the knees, so that's something that, you know, I wish they could have prevented that. But man, I love the details on here. I like all the little dots and everything that he has all over him. Then we have these awesome looking claws. And I like how the blades have two different colors, and it matches the weapons, you know. You've got the white on the top and then the light blue underneath. And I went ahead and threw on one of his open hands so we could take a look at the nails. It would have been cool if the nails were painted a different color, but I like how they outlined them with black there. That looks nice. And then moving on to the belt, we do have like two tones going on. Some white and blue. Got some pouches with some skulls or something. I don't know. But yeah, this all looks really good. A little sloppiness right there, but nothing major. And then on the back, he does have some pouches. Doesn't have anywhere to hold his weapons though, but it's all good. Maybe we could slide him into here or something. Or maybe slide him into the front here. That would probably work a little better. But yeah, I really like the way the belt looks. And moving down into the legs, we have some more of those spots that we've seen throughout the figure. Got the knee pads with the little spike on them. And right here is where I'm having some more paint issues. But again, it's kind of behind the knee pad. Not a huge deal. And I could probably just clean it up a little bit, but it sucks that I have to, you know. But again, not a huge deal at all. Some more line work. The toes are looking nice. Yeah, the nails would have been cool if they were painted like a bone kind of color, you know, like a bone white. But yeah, man, this is such a great looking figure with a whole bunch of really nice sculpting work. It's got a whole bunch of attitude. I like all the line work to make him look like a, you know, comic book drawing or something. I think that's super dope. Yeah, man, they killed it. They did such a great job on the paint and the sculpting on Slash. And then for accessories, Slash does come with 3 different sets of hands. First off, we have a pair of fists, and then we have a set of open hands, and then we do have a set of gripping hands that could be used to hold on to the weapons that he comes with. He comes with 2 different weapons. First off, we have his weapon of choice. I don't know exactly what he calls this thing, but it's like a like a jagged dagger. I don't know. It's like a dagger that has a jagged blade on it. And I like this weapon a lot for Slash because this is kind of like a warped version of a traditional weapon, and it goes very well with this warped version of a turtle. So I like this weapon a lot. And then he does come with a more traditional looking weapon. I don't know exactly what this is called, but it's very well sculpted. The paintwork is nice, and he looks cool holding it. So I do like both of these weapons. It would have been nice if he came with an extra head or something, but I am happy that he came with a bunch of hands and 2 cool looking weapons. And then now for some quick size comparisons. Here we have the Archie Slash alongside the NECA Turtles in Time Slash and the NECA Cartoon Slash. And as you can see, the Archie version is just so much bigger and beefier and looks like a much stronger character than the other 2 versions. The other ones are basically just repaints or, you know, like redone versions of the turtles. You know, they're the same size as the normal turtles, and they just don't look as intimidating as the Archie version. And then next up we have Slash next to the NECA Baxter Stockman and NECA Mondo Gecko. And here he is next to the NECA Fugitoid and NECA Casey Jones. And then next up we have Slash alongside the NECA Turtles in Disguise Raphael and the NECA Leonardo from the most recent NECA Turtles box set. The one that has the turtles in like much brighter colors. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but it was a cool set. Anyways, as you can see, the turtles, you know, they're not much shorter than Slash, but they do look a lot smaller. Slash looks a lot more beefy, and he definitely looks like he would give the turtles some problems. And if you want to mix him in with some other lines, that would probably work. As you could see, he looks really good next to the SH Figure Arts Michelangelo and the Super 7 Raphael. And then, of course, here's a look at Flash alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And to get him in here with some big guys, here we have him alongside the NECA Metalhead and the NECA Muckman. And just to mix it up a little bit, here we have Slash alongside the MDLX Optimus Prime and the 1000 Toys Hellboy. And just because they're awesome, here we have them alongside the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman and the Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Captain America. And then as far as the articulation goes, I would say that Slash does have a pretty good amount. Nothing over the top, but it's about what you'd expect out of your standard NECA Ninja Turtle figure. The turtle figures from NECA do have a very similar articulation setup between all the figures, so if you're already collecting the line, then I'm sure that you know exactly what to expect out of the articulation on Slash. He does have some like limitations and some restrictions, but for the most part, he is a lot of fun to play with, and you could get him into some cool poses. But let's go ahead and take a look starting off at the head. So his head is able to move side to side, which is nice. You could get him into some poses with some attitude, have him looking to the side or whatever. So that's nice. He could look up to about right there, which is pretty good. And then it could look down to about right there. And the head is also able to rotate on that ball joint. So pretty good movement at the head. Oh, and then the mask is able to move to this back piece here. So it just plugs into the head and it can rotate. So that's nice. But yeah, good stuff at the head. And then for the torso, he does have a diaphragm cut in there, but obviously it is going to be restricted because of the chest piece, the belt, and the back shell. But yeah, you do get a little bit of swivel out of that, so that's nice. And then it could kind of tilt to the side. So, you know, it could kind of help you get into somewhat dynamic poses, but nothing too dramatic, you know. It's going to be a little bit limited. But that's just like, you know, a byproduct of the design. It just is what it is. The swivel's pretty good, though. And then for the arms, he does have ball jointed shoulders, so his arms could go all the way around. And they could come up to about right there, which is pretty nice because he does have these things on his shoulders that kind of block the shoulder joint just a little bit. But when you bring his arm up, they kind of slide out of the way. So you could still get his arm up a really decent amount. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows, but they only bend to about right there because he does have these elbow pads that kind of get in the way. But it's nice to see that he has double jointed elbows. Oh, look at that. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. There we go. And then for the legs, he actually has some pretty good stuff going on at the legs. He could kick out to the side a really good amount. So that's nice. And then it could go back to about right there. They could come forward to about right there. And then he does have an upper thigh swivel that's kind of hidden in the upper leg, so that's nice. And yeah, there's a lot of decent movement there, and you can't really see any like disruption of the sculpt here. You know, it all still looks very good. NECA's like the master at this type of joint, and they've been getting better and better at it. It has like a hip joint that kind of rotates on the ball joint that's in there, and then that's also on the inside of the upper leg. So the upper leg swivels on that hip joint, and then the hip joint also swivels on the ball joint in there. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. And then he does have double jointed knees, which bend to about right there, which is pretty nice. And then at the foot, you could bring his foot to right there, bring it forward to right there, and then he does have rocking ankles. No lower leg swivel or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, he does have some good articulation, but he does have a lot of limitations as well. Lots of things in the way of the joints and stuff like that. But, you know, it is what it is. That's just kind of, you know, he can do what the design allows, you know. NECA is pretty good with articulation, but when it comes to their turtles, you know, they have a lot of things covering up the torso, for example. Like, what else can you do? You can put like a cut right in here, but I think that would look kind of ugly. I think that's how Playmates did some of their turtle figures, and, you know, it just didn't look very good, and it still didn't get very good articulation. I think that NECA does a pretty good job given the designs of these guys. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing around with Slash. You could get him into some cool fighting poses, some decent punching poses, and the main thing is you could kind of pose him in a way where he just looks like he has a whole bunch of attitude, and I think that's important for this version of Slash. But yeah, even though he doesn't have a lot of articulation, I'm still having a whole lot of fun playing with this figure. And so, overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I really think that NECA could have done a lot better with this figure, you know? He doesn't have a whole lot of articulation, accessories are kind of weak, you know, he doesn't look that good. You know, they really need to step it up when it comes to the Turtles because it's such a big, like, franchise. They can't be half-assing it like they did on this guy, you know? But yeah, psych! I absolutely love this figure. I think that NECA killed it. It's a great-looking figure, a whole bunch of great sculpting, a bunch of nice detail, super comic book accurate. So if you're like a diehard fan of the Archie comics, this figure is going to represent that look very well. It's by far the best look we've seen for Slash. You know, the Turtles in Time figure is pretty cool. I like the animated version as well, but this one is just so much cooler. The design is much more menacing and threatening. He just looks like a big, like, buff, beefy monster of a turtle, you know? And I just love it. I think it works so well for Slash. And NECA just killed it in every single aspect, you know? It would have been cool to get more accessories. Obviously, that's always the case. You know, who doesn't want more accessories? But he does. He comes with some good stuff, and I'm happy with it. But aside from that, there's nothing else I would have changed on this figure. I think they did an amazing job all the way around. I'm super happy with this figure. Like I said at the beginning, this is like one of my most anticipated NECA turtle figures. And not because, you know, I'm a big diehard Archie comics fan or anything. I just thought the design was cool. And when I saw it, I was like, damn, that thing is about to be like the best NECA turtle. And he's definitely up there. They killed it, man. This is a great figure. I'm really happy with it. Oh, and before I get out of here, huge shout out to Art with Toys. He was able to find a couple of these and he hooked me up. So thank you so much. I always appreciate it. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I do go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. So come through, let's talk about toys and get weird. Thank you very much. Peace.